hello everyone. How you doing? It's Friday. Good to see you. Good to hope it's a good Friday for you. Nothing wrong in saying that. Good Friday. Hope it's a good Saturday, good day. So how are you? Snowing here. We love it. We've been in a serious drought. So it's exciting to see the white stuff falling out of the sky. So hope everyone is doing good and that we find you well on planet Earth. And so, give me 1 second here. Is he pulls up here? So, lots going on. I tell you, each day you wake up and it's like, okay, what's happened while I was away? And in some cases, you come back and you go, what happened? So I just want to welcome everyone. Hello, Franny. How are you doing? Heather, T-Cat, Blazing River. How are you doing, sir? Gemma Baker, good to see you. Ellie, how are you? Sierra, good to see you as well. Gushara, good to see you. Dark Truth, hello. Greetings, Lost in Space, love it. And favor to you, my friend. Speaking of favor, hello, Mary, Marion, Mark, Marcy, Zora, love that Area 51. Brotherhood of the Serpent, been around a long, long time. Yes, they have been. And they're still here, as we're going to find out. They never left. Hello, Steve, with Slightly Slanted Truth. How are you doing? Good to see you. Boy, y'all are moving really, really fast. So anyway, yeah, we're going to study some things. We are such conditioned creatures. The ease-ofness of how easily it is to mollify us. That's a great word. Yeah, I'll use that word. Into believing things. And we're in a time now where up is down, down is up. And if you don't have your bearings, it can get extremely disorientating. So, Loretta, good to see you. Morgan, David, Dave, how are you doing? Awakened Being, Peace, Terry, hello. Brian, how are you doing, my friend? Michelle Reed, how are you doing? You know what? Haven't seen Michelle. Michelle and I go back way back in the day before I actually put this channel in here. Jerry, good to see you. So it's always good to see friends. And I've certainly met a lot of new ones. And thank you all. So I just invoke favor upon each and every one of you. I invoked it before I come on, but I'll speak it forth. Speak those things that be not as though they are, and they shall become. It's a principle that's been used by every religion, every philosopher, every culture, and those that had the third eye opened millennia ago knew it as well. We have the ability to speak from the ether and create. And some people have a difficult time with it. And okay, someone's needing this, so I'll just put it out there. To create something that is at the polar opposite of where you are right now takes time, and it takes constant repetition. And here's why the repetition becomes of it. You're building literally from the ether. You're building from the quantum level. Your voice is a activator. It, believe it or not, invokes code into the ether. And science believed, and they were on the path of beginning to identify the ether when the standard model came around and everybody went off on the gravity side. And because they said they could not find it, yet it's amazing how many things are right in front of us. So any case, speaking those things that be not as though they are. You're creating, look at it from a gene. You're literally building the double helix of your reality. And sometimes many of us get immersed into other energies, and it has a negative impact on us. We struggle with poverty. We struggle with self-crimination, self-condemnation. And when we become awake, and many of us were like that. It's why religion is so easy, because it pretends to have answers. And so you're creating. It's like the child you gave birth to. That started from a single cell. And if you stay with it, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The more you speak it, the more it becomes real. And you'll start seeing manifestations of it. I saw before I came on, David, you said you have a lot of negative energy. Energy, you must understand, is really neither negative nor positive. It has those attributes that help define it. But energy within itself is energy. Now, what I would simply recommend, David, is email me and I'll send you the favor invocation, and I suggest you perform it. And the thing about the favor blessing, the cleansing, is that it's designed that you can add to it. You add your own essence to it. But I can assure you, I have the testimonies, the emails, people that have performed the favor invocation. Things change in your life. They really do. So, yeah. So, by the way, let me just finish. Nothing missing, nothing broken be found in your life, in full restoration. I believe many of us are going to get that activation. I think we're really close. So coming forth, we're going to have this as a no drama llama zone. So no drama here, folks. No drama in the chat room. No drama in the comments. No drama in your life. Just make it a no drama llama zone. And that's how we'll proceed when we get together. I think it's the best way to go about it, don't you? Besides, I think it's really cool. You just got to love it. The other thing would have been to, have the sunglasses go in it. You got to laugh, folks. Laughter doeth the heart as a good medicine. Many of us are suffering from heart disease. Many of you may not even know it. And the reason why that is encroaching upon us is that because it's the environment it is. But hear me out on this. It can be reversed. Laughter is the first step. You learn to laugh and you'll be surprised how the body will go, oh, baby. Oh, yeah. You get them all into the orgasm. Think about that. That's okay, Steve. It's cool. So I got another thing. And Elizabeth, you're just a groovy chick. That's all I got to say. I like where your head's at. And so I'm going to read what Elizabeth wrote here. I like what, and I don't believe I'm violating any confidential thing here, Elizabeth. So what you wrote was really cool. So anyway, She writes, the principal universe of ISBE's behaviors versus domain ISBE behavior. And as we continue the reading of our book, and the reason why we're doing our thing today, Do You Know Who I Am, is that this plays heavily into everything, folks. I've been wanting to do this for some time, but the audience, not even close. The fact is, most people don't even know what those are. They only, the few have that experience, know that it's a lot of to do about nothing. All right. So she says that the principal and fundamental differences between the ISBs of the domain and the ISBEs of the physical universe are few and simple, and very fluid cognitive thought here. The physical universe, ISBEs, demand the playing of a game. They consider that they themselves do not or cannot exist without an amusement provider to provide them and overcoming obstacles interposed on an obstruct that the attainment of some imagined goals, status, and possession. Print is small. I should have made it a little bit larger. Each component part of the game is an artificial contrivance, which the players pretend to be real. The players agree that space exists in which barriers and the goals are not real or desirable. ISBEs create objects in the space with which to play. Once created, objects may not be destroyed, although they may be altered in form. The fundamental purpose of all games is having a game to play. Isn't that the truth? Boredom is the undesirable state of being from which the playing of games is thought to be an elixir or remedy. A game condition that requires agreement, motion, and admiration, or that admiration be withheld from players. Gaining admiration from other players is the most desirable goal for the game. Yeah, I think this is spot on. In the physical universe, it is forbidden not to participate in the game, even as a spectator. Every ISBE is required by agreement to participate in the game, either as a proponent of a goal or an opponent of a goal, or as a spectator. Goals or rules for playing are created by relatively few ISBEs, but agreed upon by many, so that the number of players is maximized. The ultimate outcome of every such game in the physical universe is that all the players and bystanders are crushed into becoming pawns in a state of endless turmoil and chaos, which gradually coalesces into a solidity that becomes the universe itself. No victory or escape in the game is possible. If there ever were to be a victory, the game would end. The game is never allowed to end. It is eternal and ever expanding, just as the playing field upon which the game is played. The physical universe expands eternally. The motions of the players and the playing field is monitored by the players. This is called time. ISBs of the domain have not such agreements, conditions, or impositions placed upon them by other ISBs of the domain. Every ISB is allowed to coexist freely. Of course, games certainly do exist in the domain, but the ISB who play in these games do so willingly if they choose to participate at all. Elizabeth, when are you going to come on? Seriously, I want you on. Let's, this is absolutely, I think, spot on. If this isn't a game, then what is it? You see people that will read their Bibles and they'll study their Bibles, they'll study their Qurans, they'll study the Vedics, they'll study their holy books because they have gotten lost. They're looking for the purpose, their purpose, any purpose. My God, let there be some purpose to purpose. When really all it is a game. It's a game that we play individually. Remember, every player is an individual. They may be on the playing field, and by being on the field, are connected, immersed, but nevertheless, it's still the individual player. I contend, ladies and gentlemen, there is no God. There's no God of the Bible. There's no God of the Quran. There's no God of the Vedic. We are the gods. Always have been. Always will be. It's probably one of the greatest things that have been kept from the masses. And I think when more and more of us begin to realize this, and you don't get wigged out about it. You don't go and make your own cult. You don't go and make your own religion. It just is. You are what we call in an ever-present state of being. You are a spiritual being. You are spiritually being at all times. Time has no relevancy to you, only when you're immersed into the game. And it just becomes that simple. Now, being that we are beings, none of us, there's no two the same. I think if there were two that would be the same, you would have an annihilation effect. I really do. I think it becomes, it's just my theory. So anyway, now, one other little bit of housekeeping here before we get into the main course. Caroline, I've seen her many times. I hope that she's in here. And if she's not, well, this will be on the record. So our friend Patrick, and by the way, if there's any of the rest of you who are suffering from the flu, any of you that have this type of sickness, I was meditating on it, and next Friday I'm reaching out to all of the healers. I'd like to have you come on next Friday night, and let's start teaching. Doctors are great, but remember, they practice medicine. Healers are the healers. They've been here. In fact, they were the original doctors. And so we're going to just give, and I'm just going to read this to you. Caroline, you're just a beautiful spirit, as so many of all of you are. She wants to really send out healing to Patrick. And so what she would like is for all of us to give Patrick 60 seconds of complete silence. I don't talk. Okay, I can do that. The chat people don't type. And everybody that is live with you at the moment, focus on Patrick. I suggest that if you can, for 60 seconds, you show a picture of Patrick. And if you have sound of nature or birds, wind in the trees, I don't have that, but that's okay. And I don't have a picture of Patrick either. However, we know what Patrick looks like. He's that beautiful guy that, sits there. He is, the epitome of what a grandfather is. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what, Cairo, that we're going to do this, my dear, and we're going to just give 60 seconds to Patrick. So let's just do it. Well, we'll stop here. We'll do it right here at 20 minutes after. And for 60 seconds, let's just stop and think of Patrick. Let's think healing thoughts for him. He's suffering from a gastrointestinal virus. So here we go, folks. So for 60 seconds, let's just think of our friend Patrick. Okay. Isn't 60 seconds a long time when there's nothing being said? Isn't it weird? Patrick, man, you should be feeling something on you coming in like a bolt of lightning, my friend. So thank you, Caroline. We're going to do this. I think we need to do an hour of this. You know, nothing worse than when the body is being attacked. So it sucks, as all of us know. So thank you. Thank you. Patrick, we look forward to seeing you back next Tuesday. And so, yeah, I tell you, folks, this is what bonds a community together. We may be separated by distance, but we have a medium and we can plug into that medium and we can inject it with our energy. We can inject it with the type of energy that every person that hears our energy, those are the receivers, will be receptive to it. And that's how it works. So let's move right on along. Cheers to everybody. Got a great snowstorm going out. Love it. Won't be on tonight. Going and having a date night. Guys, let me tell you something. For the women that are in your life, man, there's nothing wrong in adoring them and doing whatever you can. I've learned that if you become a servant and you have a servant spirit, it's amazing how many other spirits want to be next to that. It's great energy. It's an energy that revitalizes not only yourself, the very room that you're in. And when you can put that and dawdle that onto one individual, it opens up a whole new dimension. And for those of you who have significant others in your lives, if you take a servant's attitude and heart towards them, I'll tell you what, it's a bond that will carry forth even into the next realm. So think about that. All right. So there goes my doorbell. And if there's someone at my door, it has to either be Amazon or I don't know who else. Maybe they brought a shovel with them. Hey, that would be favor. I'll take that any day. Yeah, Franny, date night, hubba, hubba, hubba. Hey, the weather outside is frightful. I love that song. And if you got a fireplace and you got that special someone, woohoo, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The electric universe, Sherry, yeah. It's a theory that's being countered that the universe is not gravity dominated, but in fact that the gravity is electric and magnetic. And therefore, when you begin to apply the principles of magnetism and electricity to what we see in the cosmos, we can become a better understanding of how the universe was in fact constructed and how it goes forth. Damn. Chocolate and sex. That's cool. I have to say that's yeah. So anyway, I digress. All right. So I put together this here little presentation. Let's talk about who I am. It's the question, are you ready to see? The truth is right here in front of us, always have been. They can't hide it. The only way that they can hide it is by, how shall I say, mollifying you. You see, but you don't see. You don't understand. You don't understand what you're seeing. So this starts back, always comes back to these Sumerians again. Enlil, tethered and imprisoned Enki, as you can see here. As you can see, this is him being imprisoned. You can see the serpents in an energy field because he gave Tiamat, the first Eve, and the Adamu self-awareness and reproduction. Eve, conscious before Adam, has adorned her belly and genitals, proud of her source of pleasure. She stares at her Enki, her dad, in tethers. You see, guys, we know, and let me tell you, the women know as well. There's something powerful about the female essence. Males can't resist it. Males can't compete against it. You see, that's why I don't believe in any of the matriarchal gods. They're all males. Let me just tell you, that's nonsense. No guy with a hard-on ever created anything. It's the female. But I digress. So, the Brotherhood of the Snake. This is what we're talking about here. And this will give you some understanding about this. This is the original secret. Let's read. Coiled forever in the darkness below, they await for the right time to strike, defending the truth and protecting the lies. Reptilians shedding their skins, they gather in masses, encrypting the stars to breed slaves sworn to war. The threshing and bashing and blistering burns death brought forth to the world. Gets weirder. Serpent's eyes always watching you. Without a trace, the covenant of the snake succumbing unto your fate. They've been watching you through shape-shift eyes in Sumerian disguise. By the gods who decree our faith, by the gods who decree our fate. Diluvian religions of monarchs and gods, the hideous hydra takes shape. The bloodline descendants of its original form, the dragon of Egypt awakes. They've taken the tablets and hidden the scrolls to deceive the ones they protect. The truth of creation, mutation of man, entombed in the Vatican walls. Serpent eyes always watching you. Without a trace, the covenant of the snake succumbing unto your fate. They've been watching you they've been watching you through shape-shift eyes in Sumerian disguise by the gods who decree our faith, by the gods who decree our fate. Now we are the ones who dominate. 5,000 years silent control, societies to subjugate, eternity complete control, the brotherhood of the snake, and we will always assume control. They never left. You and I have been lied to repeatedly. In fact, we've been lied so many times that we've been lied to, and then we've been lied by the truth. The vast majority of the population live in ignorance, and they prefer to stay that way. When they see such symbols of this, fear has been taught to be invoked. And when the force of fear dominates the spirit is entombed. When you stare at this, it should have no reaction on you at all, unless you're afraid of something that neither harms you nor can touch you, only if you allow it to. But wisdom lies within. In order to be able to perceive the deceiver, one has to become like the deceiver. Otherwise, you will be the deceived. You see, it's been known there's been a net around us. Within this thing we call reality is merely the imprint upon something that we have been denied. We live in chains. But within those chains, there are answers, because there is no lock that does not have a key. You just have to understand the lock. Because in this reality, everything is in code. My dear friend, your very body is in code. Your body is, in fact, one walking code. It's everywhere. When you begin to understand the code, you begin to understand the symbols. You begin to understand it's not to invoke fear. It's not to invoke anything more than the passing on of knowledge. But you see, knowledge was never guaranteed to be just one way. Knowledge is blind. Knowledge is tasteless. Knowledge is. But if you become entrapped by fear, by subjugating yourself to your own superstitions, then your fate has already been made. You might as well go ahead and leave. There's nothing for you here. There's nothing that you will find. It's time for you to go. But now, when you look upon these symbols, and instead of being afraid, you start questioning everything, is the first step of the awakening. You see, these knowledge groups, these hidden knowledge, the secret knowledge. It's here. They've tried to partition it off. And the way they do that is by fear. And so many are dominated by fear. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because the day that you begin to see is the day you begin to trust no one any longer. You are sentient. You are spirit. You are truth. But truth, how does truth be defined? Many of us have tried to figure out who is at the table. It's a very, how shall we say, selective club. Yeah, this one here, when those of my kind get close, they become even more afraid. But folks, no matter what you're into, no matter, you have to understand there's something that dominates it. You have to begin to see and understand this. It's the thing that you've been taught to fear. But yet it's the very thing that when you're sick, you want to be near. Explain that. How can divinity be within a reptile? But it's here. It's everywhere. Do you believe in messages? How long can you stare at this? What do you begin to see? You start getting a headache between your eyes? Stare. Concentrate. Clear your mind. See nothing but the sign. Go deep. Go deep within. Because that's where the journey ends. So, becoming aware, are you? Welcome. You see, that's what it is. You see. You begin to understand the power brokers. You begin to see how corrupt they are. But it's not the power. They use the power for their corrupted purposes. They build shrines. They build temples, cathedrals, all around. They live with no consciousness of guilt, no consciousness of fear. Why? You want to know who I am? Can you guess my name? You never will. We do not give up our name. Ever. Ever. Say hello to Creator. Yeah. This is the truth most don't want to deal with. They don't. They can't handle it. They can't. And so many of you have been searching, and you have a lot of constructs you're going to have to start deconstructing. You see, no God will ever pronounce its name. It's why you don't remember your name. It's why I don't remember my name. I had a conversation yesterday with self. No God will ever give its name. It can't. Because once its name is given and known, it no longer has the power associated to its name, tied to its name. It's true. So let's look at something here as we begin to wrap this up. So there is an actual website that, the Brotherhood of the Snake. Here it is. Um, you know, so let's just read what they have to say. Through fire and ice, through famine and disaster, we serve the serpent, our one true master. We conspire by day, advance by night. No human being shall evade our might. The sun grants us eternal wisdom as the dawn of a new day awaits our kingdom. Through human plight, we always rise. We protect our home with all knowledge eyes, all knowing eyes. All we create and all you destroy commands the influence we will employ. The sun grants us eternal wisdom as the dawn of the new day awaits our kingdom. One who surpasses all personal fears allows higher levels of consciousness to appear. Emotion and ego stand in the way to spiritual progression each day. The moon provides us with eternal life for the new order of the ages. To prey on the weakness of their unquestioning faith, all emotions must be replaced. To serve the serpent is to bask in denomination. Yep. We welcome the Creator in all manifestations. The moon provides us with eternal life for the new order of the ages. Secure beneath our watchful eyes, the human race embraces our guise. Through force, through influence, we impose our will as we master the sacred power of the vril. The vril provides us with eternal power for the new order of the ages. The vril will give ourselves, our body and our soul. To the vril we sacrifice our flesh and our blood. The vril we deliver chaos so that we may be reborn. We make war, we make peace, but everything one day will cease. There is one power that destiny cannot overtake. We are the Brotherhood of the Snake. That's some heavy crap. Woo! Uh-huh. So, let me get out of here for a second in here and get back to where I was. Probably haven't heard much of this in other places because this is considered to be heresy. This is considered to be the ultimate disgrace. To even quote the words that I just quoted is considered to be the ultimate blasphemy. Question is, what are you here for? Is it not knowledge? Where does knowledge come from? Where do the people of the ancient days say that the wisdom comes from? It comes from the light bearer, he who brings knowledge and wisdom. But we're repulsed by the fact that we could be nothing more than the creation of a species that's not even Homo. Has to be a reason that we cannot remember. Has to be a reason why they put up all the fear to extraordinary lengths from the moment we almost come out of the womb to teach us to stay away from this. Don't go near that. This is forbidden. And what do? We comply. Why? We want the admiration. We seek adornment. We like people praising us. And thus, we become so anesthetized by the delusion that it becomes real. And that becomes the prison, because you'll never learn. You'll never know. The superstitions are there for a purpose. They're gates. Now, my attitude towards these things is this. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with the whole freaking construct. I'm tired of reading about imaginary gods that don't exist. I've challenged this and I'll continue to challenge this. Show me a God. I'll show you one. Me. You. That's the only gods that are here. It's the only one that's ever been here. And apparently, we're stuck. I'm tired of being stuck. We've got to do something. You look over the last 5,000 years of the available knowledge. They've taken the real knowledge and hidden it. Somehow or another, as it always does, there's one spirit that says, I can't handle this, and sneaks it out. Maybe a piece, maybe a part, but it's enough for those of us who absolutely hunger after this that we can get a hold of and begin to look at it. And we have failed to this point. I've yet to find a manual that will say, well, this is what you do. You start at the door and then you will go 50 paces. And no, it doesn't work that way. It's all in code. And the thing that I have found, unless this is ready, the code won't come. It can't. It gets consumed before it ever reaches the destination. So who are the Brotherhood of the Snake? All right. Listen, either you be for me or you be against me. If you be for me, then let's go and see what we can do. If you be against me, then game on. I'm not afraid of some apparition appearing before me. As I told you before, set them down, stop them. Stop them with your name. Yeah, the name you have in this physical realm, because it's attached to you. And then demand that they share the knowledge of how they transcend matter from the ether and begin to generate photons in this physical plane. I don't give a damn what you worship, what God you're with. You tell me how you do it. Ain't no boogeyman going to come after you now. No demon. No angel. When you demand that they share the knowledge, because that's all it is. It's not divinity. It's not sovereignty. It's knowledge. They have a technology. That's all it is. They have wisdom. And if you can begin to rise to that level, then you would like to see these so-called apparitions. That's how you do it. Nothing to be afraid of here. So, the Brotherhood of the Snake. Let's find it out. Who are they? What are the incantations? What is the spells? What is this knowledge of these serpents? Whatever are these reptilians? Let's stop playing games and let's put aside all former beliefs and ideas. Let's start from a clean slate. And I say the first thing that we say, okay, then there is this ancient, seems to be Sumerian cult, club, society, private group, nonprofit organization. Maybe they're tax-free in the domain. I don't know, the Dominion. But let's find out. Why do they worship the reptilians? What is it? Let's not be afraid. Let's not feed fear into the equation. Let's look at this as rational prisoners. We got to get the hell out of here. We got to start figuring this out. And we can't be tearing each other apart because someone may have an idea that counters yours. Suck it up, Cupcake. You're not the only, prima donna here. We're all prima donnas. I love you folks. You people are just far out. But this is how we do it. We've got to break the mirror, the illusion. Whatever time we have left, we can do this. We can do it out in the open. It's probably going to become the biggest fear factor of these power brokers. Can you imagine that? The peons are getting together. They formed a union. Hell, that's what we ought to do. Let's form a union. Yeah. We got enough people to do it. Almost 40,000. I mean, that's bigger than most unions out there. And the dues is this. The dues is the life experience. And we all bring plenty of that. That is the dues. And we start getting this figured out. I don't want another person dying, trapped in here. Because that to me that repulses me more than some freaking reptilian. I can't tell you the displeasure I have with that thought of coming back into this insanity cesspool. Yeah, I know people kind of say, well, Wayne, life is really kind of groovy. Yeah, I dig it. I know it is. But folks, you can have the best smelling soap, but if you're in a sewer, it's still going to smell like a sewer, no matter how powerful your soap is. I say, let's take our soap and get the hell out of here and find a clean place. You know what I mean? I got to tell you what. All right. You people are the best. We'll pick up on our reading. We'll eventually get through this. And oh, by the way, I got a book that we're going to be reading on the Brotherhood of the Snake. So we're going to start busting some heads here. I mean, spiritual heads. And we're going to start busting some power brokers out here. The thing that they fear the most is that someone can explain the knowledge in layman's terms. I am a layman. I am spirit. I am one. I am one of many. I am many of one. There we go. All right. Don't drop the sub. Franny, you crack me up. That is so cool, girl. You know, Franny is, well, I won't say that. I'll let her tell about the assassin preacher. Go running, right? Oh, folks, you are the best. Listen, I'm not going to be on the night. I know Brian over at Milky Way Weekly with Sue G. I believe they're going to be on, and visit your other favorite channels. Be good to yourself. Love the one you're with. That's you. And then you can begin to love the others that are going to be attracted to you. And thank you for enriching my life. Every day you are like a dose of good medicine. And I thank you for that. I know you have a lot of places you can go and a lot of places you can spend your time. And I am much appreciative of the fact that you give unto me time of yours. And I hope to enrich you back as well. Favor be with you, my friend. We'll see you again, probably on Sunday over on Jeff Doherty's channel, but Monday back here at noon. You are the best. Namaste to all of you. Love you, folks. Be good. We'll talk soon. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Mother Nature. I appreciate that. I'll let my lovely wife know. All right, folks. Bye-bye.